You're with me, Dawn Neesom, covering for Nana this week on GBNews on TV and on digital radio. Well, it's back. The Premier League football season kicks off this weekend, and after the joy of our magnificent Lionesses winning Euro 2022, it should be a glorious celebration of all things footy. Instead, what are we talking about again? Yes, taking that damn knee before games. OK, so the captains of our top-flight teams agreed this week that this divisive and virtue-signalling gesture can finally be kicked into touch this season. But, as usual, terms and conditions apply. Players will now take the knee on high days and holidays only, like Boxing Day, the first and last games of the season. But what's that about? So they only care about racism in the game on certain days? This makes more of a mockery of the entire thing, surely. The whole hyper-politicising of the beautiful game came at the end of 2019-20 season after the horrific murder of George Floyd and the emergence of Black Lives Matter campaign. The FA, an organisation made up, almost entirely of white straight men, decided it would be a winning idea to import the American gesture into our game. Naturally, the people who pay their and the players' wages weren't asked. Because if you remember rightly, COVID lockdown meant fans weren't banned from matches at the time. Timing. Even the players weren't giving much of a say in this, were they? Only those who were black themselves, like Crystal Palace's Wilfried Zaha, felt able to stay standing. By the time fans were allowed back, we were presented with a ludicrous spectacle of a bunch of Ferrari-driving, mansion-dwelling millionaires kneeling to support a Marxist organisation who quite literally wanted to eat the rich, provided they were white, obviously, and defund the police. Of course, racism has absolutely no place in any area of life, and Kick It Out campaign was working. It was a slow process, but it was progress. Suddenly fans who had granddads who thought in the war were being told they had to support an organisation whose supporters merrily defaced the cenotaph and Churchill's statue. To disagree and even, heaven forbid, boo, meant you were obviously a knuckle-dragging racist. Football's elite were allowed to demonstrate an opinion with their knee-taking, but fans were kicked down for doing the same thing. It's all spherical objects players kick about, isn't it, really? Especially when you consider many of our top-flight footballers, FA officials, holier-than-thou commentators, and most of the hideously woke BBC Sports Department will be camping to, Qatar for the World Cup this winter. A country that's the textbook definition of homophobic, misogynist and racist. Over 6,000, mainly Indian subcontinent modern-day slaves have died building the glittering stadiums our knee-taking, rainbow lace-wearing players will perform in. Taking the money obviously means far more than taking the knee. Now, most of us would swallow the whole knee thing had it worked. But Kick It Out, the anti-discrimination organisation, announced that in 2021 to 2022, there had been a 40% rise in racist incidents compared to the last full season before the pandemic. That worked then. So players can take the knee if they want. No problem with that at all. Fans can boo if they want. We shouldn't have any problem with that then either, should we? But can we all agree that taking the knee is one thing and one thing only, and that's a massive own goal?